This is the Freeheel Life Podcast, episode number 118. I'm your host, Josh Madsen, coming at you from the Freeheel Life shop in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this is the best week of the year, everybody. Because guess what? World Telemark Day is coming up this Saturday. And that's what this episode is going to be all about. So, I can't wait to talk about it. Good times. Anyways, hope you guys are having a great Monday out there. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully you have some fun things planned for the week. And more importantly, hopefully you've got some plans for the weekend. So pretty much this is, I know I usually do a newsroom and notes segment and kind of go over things that are happening around the world. But really, I'm going to focus today, all the news, all the notes, all the episode. We'll see how long it goes to. It may not be as long of an episode, so all you people that do not like the long form, maybe this one will go a little bit quicker. So I'm looking forward to it. So kind of to get things going, I know I've been mentioning World Telemark Day. I did a whole episode way back in the beginning, probably almost been 2 years. Since I did an episode specifically about what World Telemark Day is. So just quick recap, if you're a new listener or you're not familiar with World Telemark Day, this is the 8th annual. And this is an event, basically the whole concept, just to kind of, before we get into where it's all happening, I wanted to give a brief overview of what it is. And many years ago, after having done lots of events and having gone to lots of events, the most common thing that I noticed was how difficult it is to put an event on. And I wanted a way, and when I'm talking events, I'm saying, that could be anything from, a movie showing or a clinic or especially a Telemark festival, and back in the day when I was traveling to all these Telemark festivals around the country, and I don't want to say globe, but mostly the US and Europe, there's an enormous amount of work that goes into these things, and props to everyone who puts them on, because I think they're awesome. And it's so awesome when you have somebody in an area putting on an event. But what I noticed was how difficult, how time consuming, generally a Telemark festival has like a demo that's there. You can try skis out, which then means maybe you're running a clinic, and then you've got to get ski school involved, or some sort of a clinician that's going to teach people, whatever, and operate ski, and then you've got to hire the band. I could go on and on and on. For those of you out there that are going to a Telemark festival in the coming weeks that is like organized, like I just explained, please find the organizer and say thank you, and just understand how much time and energy goes into those things. And for a lot of people doing events, not everybody, it might not even be a moneymaker for them. They may be doing it just because they love Telemark so much and they're trying to share it with other people. So it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, if you've, I always say everyone, if you're a ski bum out there, hopefully you've worked in the service industry, right? You've been a server or a bartender or a bus person, whatever. Because I always say, those of you who've done that, you have a much better respect for the people that are currently doing it. And I think the same goes for Telemark festivals. If you've ever put on an event, you'll gain an appreciation for the people that are putting on the event that you're attending. So if you haven't put on an event, just trust me and go find that person and tell them you love them. Thank you for putting on your Telemark festival every year. I love you. Give them a big hug if they want it. If not, keep some distance. We're still in that mode. So, keep a little bit of distance, but tell them you're grateful for them. And, if you got time, help volunteer, help it keep going so they don't burn out. All right, so World Telemark Day, basically, just to wrap this up. Sorry, I kind of digressed off the edge there. So going to all these festivals, really what I was looking to do was like, how can I get people to celebrate telemark skiing? There's so many passionate people around the world, but the festivals are few and far between in comparison to the amount of people that are out there. So I thought, and I've probably mentioned it on here before, I was always really inspired by, there's a thing called Go Skateboarding Day. And I was like, those skateboarders, like, I don't even skateboard, but I was like, man, these guys have it going on. Every year on Go Skateboarding Day, the whole planet that skateboards goes out and skateboards. And it was like an international gathering. And I thought, man, what a brilliant idea. This decentralized concept of you don't need an event. You could do it by yourself, or you could take the premise of the day and the celebration, and you could build a gathering for your friends and use it as an excuse to get all the local telemarketers together at your hill and just meet up. And or if you were like a marketing person at a resort, which I've also had that position, you're busy, and sometimes having a plug and play event's great to add to the calendar, because you're like, cool, this person out in the ether gave me a press release and a logo and said, this is the day it's happening. And it's a great way to put on an event at your hill and maybe offer a ticket discount, or, it's something to talk about, which is really what you're doing as a marketing person. You need some PR. And this was kind of a pre-packaged idea. And really that's it. A logo, a press release, which you can find for the 2022 season on telemarkskier.com and in the news section. And you're welcome to use that and as a tool. But anyways, it was a decentralized way to just say, hey, even if you're by yourself, and I started noticing that when I opened Freeheel Life, you'd get these phone calls. I'll always remember, like, someone called one time and they were from like the middle of Canada, right? Like, I'm talking like Manitoba or Saskatchewan or something like that, and typically when you think Canadian telemark skiers, you're thinking British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, like those are like, and even Ontario, right? Like those are the provinces that I would always think about. And I remember this guy called one day and he's like, I'm the lone telemarketer where I live. And I was just thinking, man, that's so cool. Like there's obviously a little ski bump there, that, is a spot for him to go shred, and he's stoked. So that's all that matters. And so World Telemark Day, it's always the first Saturday in March. First Saturday in March is always World Telemark Day in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, it came up, somebody I saw a comment online somewhere, and they're like, well, what about South America, the Southern Hemisphere? Like, why don't we have one? Well, you do. It's the first Saturday of September is what we designated as the day for World Telemark Day, Southern Hemisphere, way back when I started this thing. So there's smaller amounts of people that are doing it down there. But hey, if you're listening down there, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Chile, wherever else you can ski that I'm not thinking of, those are the main ones, right? Please message me, podcast@freeheellife.com. Let's help you get something set up for this upcoming year. And I would love for you to be a part of that extended Freeheel Life family running World Telemark Day where you're at. So that's basically the premise. Totally decentralized. You can do it yourself all the way up to building an event. And it happens on those days. First Saturday in March, first Saturday in September. So today I'm going to be focusing on, obviously, Northern Hemisphere because it's winter here, getting to be spring. And we're going to talk a little bit about, I went and did some digging. I know half of the time I get on the podcast, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Sorry I didn't go digging for this or that. So I actually spent some time looking for events that I hadn't heard about, and also sort of compiling events that are going on that people have emailed, like I asked, to podcast@freeheellife.com. If you're not hearing yours on this episode, I apologize, but email me at podcastfree@freeheellife.com this week. I'll post it on my own Instagram and Facebook. I will pass it along to the Freeheel Life team. We obviously run Telemark Skier Magazine, so we've got some good outreach across the social platforms, and we'll do our best. And yeah, thank you for everybody that participates in this, because it is kind of crazy, that I mean, basically I just, 8 years ago was like, I wonder if I can come up with a thing, and then why don't we try to make it like an international holiday? And, now it's like people are doing it, and they're doing it all over. And you're going to see that in some of these events. If you're not familiar with it, like how far and wide it goes. And this is just a sliver of the meetups that we're seeing out there. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for believing in the concept and actually, buying into it and wanting to help get it going. That means the world to me. None of these ideas would work unless other people thought, hey, all right, I'm into that. I'll give it a shot. And that's kind of how we make some progress together as a group. So, so thank you. And that's basically the brief overview of what World Telemark Day is. And this is the 8th annual. Okay, so bear with me as I go through this, because I've got like some printouts that I've got like a stack of papers, and then I've got some screenshots on my phone, and I'm going to kind of work through this. There's not really any rhyme or reason, like chronologically, I don't even know if chronologically, alphabetically, or parts of the world. I'm just going to kind of let this rip. And the whole objective of this is to get out as much information as I can on some of these events, and honestly, hopefully shed some light on what's going on out there. And if you're sitting here listening to this podcast and you're just like, wait, what? Like, okay, I'm already going to be at my local mountain on Saturday, and what you're saying is I can celebrate World Telemark Day, and I actually don't have to ski with anybody if I don't want to, but I, alone, the lone telemarker at my mountain, I can celebrate by myself and celebrate with people all over the world. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, cool, I'm down with what Madsen's saying, and he sounds kind of like a nut job, but whatever. Like, that's kind of a cool concept. If you're on social media, especially, all you have to do, especially Instagram, it's an easy one. We're going to use hashtag, which for you old folks out there, hashtag is the pound sign. The pound sign is a hashtag. They are interchangeable. So hashtag World Telemark Day. Do not use the year. Just hashtag World Telemark Day. Take a picture of yourself. You don't even have to write the caption. Like some people hate writing captions, and just go hashtag World Telemark Day. Here's my selfie. Or like someone took a picture of you at the top of the lift and post it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Post it on your favorite forum, whatever. If you're not on social media, why don't you send it over to podcast@freeheellife.com, and I will do the hashtag # World Telemark Day, and I'll post it for you. Just tell me location, tell me you had a good time, and we'll get it going. But part of this is to inspire, because I'm inspired that there's people out there doing this every year. I mean, we're 8 years into this, and I'm still like, I'm like looking where these places, I'm looking up where these places are, because I'm so fascinated by it. So thank you, Intergalactic Internet, for pulling us all together. This is how we grow Telemark. This is how we share the turn and protect the turn. All right, let's get into it. All right. So this first one is from Alan. I love this email. This is Alan. I appreciate your this is broken down just like who, what, where, when. Amazing. So who is for all tele enthusiasts. What, World Telemark Day gathering. Where, the main lift at the Y1 ski resort in Ilas, Finland. That's the best pronunciation I can come up. It's YLLAS. A with the 2 little dots over it. S. Ilas, Finland. I'm sorry, Finnish listeners. I do not know Finnish. But I tried. Saturday, March 5th at high noon. And I have an event link. So if you're in that zone and you do not know Alan, there is a meetup link. And I can get it to you. Just hit me up on the email and I will send it to you. So, Finland checking in with their World Telemark Day celebration. I love it. I have not been to Finland. I've been to your neighboring people of Sweden and Norway, but I have not been to Finland. I would love to get there at some point. Okay. So, this one, I'm actually super pumped on this one because an old friend of mine that I came across, he hit me up on, it was like LinkedIn or something. Shout out to LinkedIn. We're always talking about all the other social platforms. I feel like LinkedIn doesn't really get the love it deserves for all the business folks out there. And yeah, so this he hit me up and wanted to let me know about White Pass, Washington, and what was going on in White Pass, which I think is awesome because I actually have not skied White Pass, but I love Washington, and there's always been a great Telemark contingent, and there's a couple Washington events that I'm going to bring up as we get into this. So, funny enough, I got kind of 2 guys, and this is what's even more beautiful. I don't even know if these guys know each other. So, like, this old friend hits me up and is like, "Hey, I haven't talked to you in years. I live in White Pass. We're going to try and get something going here." And his name's Ryan. Then on the other side, this other dude, Aaron, hits me up and is like, "Yo, I'm trying to get something going." He's like, "Hey, trying to get the World Telemark Day tradition started at White Pass. The Telemark population has been growing here over the last few years, and I'm hoping to add some fuel to the fire." And good on him. He's like, "I contacted White Pass, hadn't heard back, but he had proposed a time. And now it sounds like he caught wind of the other guy, and now we have a Telemark meetup in White Pass, Washington." I love that. I love the synergy. Everyone's coming together up in the Pacific Northwest, and it's happening. So, White Pass, Washington. If you are in the zone, Saturday, March 5th, meet 12 p.m. at the Sitzmark Lodge. Okay? Says, "Calling all knee dropping, pinhead, protectors of the turn." I love it. So, White Pass, Washington. Go get some. Sounds like you guys are building a cool community there, and this is a great way to start meeting each other, finding some synergies, and how to build it up from there. So I love that, and that's what this is all about. So White Pass, Washington, 12 p.m. Sitzmark. All right, this is actually the day before. I'm kind of just, some of these aren't on exactly March 5th, but whatever. Like it's World Telemark Day weekend, right? Like we're going to build this into the whole effing weekend. I'm not going to swear. I know sometimes I got a potty mouth on here, but I'll try to keep it clean this week. So last week I talked about City Garage and Telestock, my good friends in Holiday Valley over in Western Washington and in Ellicottville. Fantastic zone. Well, I think I did mention it last week. There's like 2 resorts there. And this one, March 4th at Hollymont, they're having their Telefest, and it's $35 for members, I believe. And if you're a Hollymont skier, and I totally botched this, I'm going off memory here. I believe Hollymont is a sort of members resort. Like you basically have like you're a member, almost like a country club or something. That's probably like the worst example ever, but you pay for like a membership, right? So for members, Telefest is $35. For non-members, you can still attend, but it's $80. And then registration is at 9 a.m. at the Holly Center. Morning clinics from 10 a.m. to noon. Lunch by Dinah's at the Mont. And then there's an afternoon group ski. So Western New York, this is like Buffalo area, not too far from there. Probably like northwestern Pennsylvania. You probably could get there if nothing's going on there. I didn't see anything in Seven Springs down in Pittsburgh. That's Western PA. So I know, I think Telepalooza already happened, but I don't know, maybe if you're somewhere in the abyss between Seven Springs, Pennsylvania and Ellicottville, New York, maybe you should head to Hollymont on March 4th and get some clinic in, and you could pre-party for World Telemark Day or whatnot. So that's kind of the secondary spot. It's right before World Telemark Day. So get there, Ellicottville. Love all you out there. And after you go to Telefest at Hollymont, go say hi to Moose at the depot, get some pizza slices, and drink some beer. All right. So this was a quick, I know I talked a little bit about Southern Hemisphere. I'm just going to throw it in there because that's what's in my pile. Told you guys it was going to be kind of all over the place. Alan hit me up. He said, thanks for letting me know about the upcoming World Telemark Day on March 5th. Hopefully it will add a bit of light and life in these troubled days. Yeah, and there's some crazy stuff going on right now. More specifically, though, you indicated that you can shed some light and life on the Southern Hemisphere Day in September. I'm from Victoria in the land of Oz, and been a long time member of a tiny ski patrol that is predominantly cross-country in its operation, but some of us have been tele-practitioners for, decades, and all of us freeheelers. Anyway, wishing you well and keep up the great work. Cheers, mate. Alan, thanks for the email. Love it. And like I said, first Saturday in September, that's what we've always designated as World Telemark Day in the Southern Hemisphere. Get after it. Let's keep in touch with me, brother. If you're listening to this, and I'll be sure to email you. But it's all about just finding like I said, it doesn't take a whole lot. Like if you've got tele-practitioners in your zone in Victoria, let's put a date together. Let me know. I'll talk about it on the podcast all day and let people know to come. Also, those tele guys, we've had them on the podcast. They're in Australia as well. I believe one of them lives in Victoria, and yeah, let's try to connect some people. And there's people over in Perisher and New South Wales and whatnot. Anyways, there's people in Australia that are down to have a good time, and I'm sure they would want to celebrate World Telemark Day. Another kind of side note, up in Ontario, Canada, Freeheel Fridays are 9 to 2 p.m. with Ski Telemark. And this is with my friend Holly. Just wanted to remind you, that's not necessarily a World Telemark. I'm sure they're going to be celebrating, but they always do the Freeheel Fridays, 9 to noon at Mount St. Louis in Ontario, Canada. Love it. Let me hop over, and we're going to get a couple of these. Like I said, I'm kind of hopping between phone stuff and paper, just trying to find everybody's that has sent me stuff. So this one gets me excited. And one place I have not been in my telemark adventures is Japan. I'll say here, if you're a Japanese telemark skier, there is a high probability that you guys are way more stoked than anybody. I feel like I've been hearing about Japan and telemark for so long, and I mean everybody knows like Japan, Hokkaido, telemark ski or Big Powder Days, all that. But like, I just want to say that the passion for telemark, the type of telemark skiers that I see from Japan, all time stoke level. So I'm stoked you guys are getting this together. There's a World Telemark Day celebration, March 5th, 2022 in Niseko. 8:30 a.m. 8:30. Meeting at dot base. And then 9 o'clock to 11, there's all levels free Telemark clinics. And you can reserve a spot via email or Facebook message. And 11 o'clock, they're doing a group photo at the dot base, DOT. 11:30 to 12:30, tele together. And then there's an indoor session, which is 5 to 6. So 1700 to 1800 indoor session. I think that's like an opera session. Either way, I might start calling it that because it just sounds legit. Hey, we're going to go shred hard all day. And then why don't 5 p.m., 1700 hours, we're going to meet and have a little indoor session. What do you think? So organized by We Telemark. Deanna, my friend, I had her on the podcast. She's doing it, and she's got a bunch of sponsors on board, and she is making it happen with a bunch of people, 22 Designs, Telemark Journal, Niseko Tourism, FHL, Teleskier Mag, all that. Go get some, Japan. I can't wait to come see you guys one day. That's going to be amazing. All right, coming back over to the US of A. Our friends at Telemark Colorado are going to be over at Loveland. Okay. So if you're looking for something to do, maybe you're a Front Range Coloradan and you're willing to brave the I-70 corridor to get to World Telemark Day, Ski Loveland is your first stop. You don't have to go all the way to Summit County, so this might be for you that are in, you hear me, Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins even, Front Range. Or maybe you're just looking to come over Vail Pass and you want to go down to Loveland. I don't know. Whatever. If you're in the zone, go to Ski Loveland. Those guys are awesome at Telemark Colorado. They've got this is a new one that these guys have been doing this, and CJ Kochia and I have talked about this. The Tele Limbo contest is kind of unique to Telemark Colorado. They're gonna keep it rolling. So if you think that you can Tele Limbo better than the rest of them, they're gonna be doing that. They got free Tele demos. I believe Bishop is providing those, and it says Party Waves. So if you're a Spicoli fan, it's all about some tasty waves, and they're going to be hanging out, and it's going to be good times. So Saturday, March 5th at Ski Loveland. Go get some, Colorado. It's going to be good times. And all right. I love it. I almost slipped there. I told you I was going to keep it a clean podcast today. No, I just get so pumped. It's so cool. As I'm flipping through this, I'm like, oh, this is so cool that all these people are putting these events on, taking the time to make these cool little flyers. I just get so stoked. All right, so from Loveland, the next one I've got up is I came across a little flyer that came up. It's got to be from Switzerland because it's .ch. So if you didn't know that, the Swiss URLs are .ch. there's your internet quiz for the day. So I'm assuming this is over on the German side of Switzerland because it's in German, obviously. Which I do not speak German either, but it says World Telemark Day, Saturday, the 5th of March, 2022 in Lenzerheide. You can get more info at telemark-lenzerheide.ch and check it out. And it looks like they're going to have a good time. For being a small country, Switzerland has a lot of Telemark stuff going on. So I love it. And you guys also speak more languages than I could possibly figure out. So always props to you. So I'm going to keep it rolling in Switzerland. So I just did Lenzerheide. You can check that out on Instagram. They're at Telemark _Lenzerheide _Arosa. Scope it out. Hopefully you can find it. I'm sure you can. And going over to the other side of Switzerland, to the area that speaks French, my good friends in the Worst Crew. These guys have been buds of mine since it's over 10 years now. I've known them, and they've kind of transitioned. Worst Crew. They were doing a bunch of edits kind of early on, and a couple of the guys broke off and started Spirit Telemark. I still need to have them on the podcast. They're doing some really cool edits. And then Worst Crew's they used to have a Worst Crew festival, but now they're kind of getting into Tele Kids program, which is awesome. And they just wrapped up their first Tele Kids thing this past weekend, I believe. And it's awesome. They've got these great skis mounted up for kids, and they're teaching them how to telemark in Grion, which is a rad little village that is, I want to say it's a couple hours from Verbier. I'm not going to, I wanted to get real slick with my cantons, and which are kind of like their counties. I've been there, but I'm not going to get too crazy. I don't think it's in the Canton du Valais, but it's close. So if you're from Switzerland and you have not been to Grion, you should go and try to meet up with the Worst Crew. Anyways, they're having a World Telemark Day celebration on March 5th. And if you're on that side of Switzerland, definitely meet up with them. You can look up Worst Crew on Instagram at Worst Crew, just like it sounds. So if you speak English, they're not the worst people. They're great people. And you should go party with them on World Telemark Day. It's a beautiful, 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 beautiful little village and a beautiful little ski area. Not even that little. It's such a cool place. And I think if you really want to get a taste of that part of Switzerland, highly recommend. So Worst Crew checking in from the other side of Switzerland. And if you speak the Français, you're in. I do not. All right. Lots of language talk today. This just always blows my mind how many things are going on here. Okay, so Switzerland, we got the German side taken care of. We've got the French side taken care of. I guess I should mention, I know there's a crew, I believe they are Swiss in the Italian speaking zone, which is even very, very small. A lot of people don't realize that that's even there. And forgive me because I don't have any event there, but I'm pretty sure there's a little crew in that zone too. So try to find them if you can, if you're in that area. I'm going to jump back over to the United States. And this is in Berkshire East. World Telemark Day celebration. I think I mentioned this one last week. Berkshire East, I believe, is Massachusetts. It's not saying on this thing. I'm almost positive Berkshire East is Mass. Saturday, March 5th, Chair 4, 10 a.m. Okay? Berkshire East, Saturday, March 5th, Chair 4 at 10 a.m. Join the Freeheel clan and celebrate the greatest turn on snow. Tele tips will be offered by Hal Westwood. You can reach him at skistrees@gmail.com. Opera party in the parking lot starting at 4:30 with Norwegian treats. I don't know what those Norwegian treats are. It could be like lutefisk and flatbread. Maybe. I don't know. But he's gonna have Norwegian treats. I believe Hal is the guy. He's the guy who emailed this to me. I believe he's the one putting this together. Hal, salute to you, brother. Thank you for putting this on. Berkshire East, Massachusetts, East Coast, United States. He's got some telly tips he's gonna put together. Meet him there on March 5th at Chair 4, 10 a.m. in the morning. That means all of you got pre-partied out on Friday night. You still got time to get to Chair 4 at 10 a.m. No excuses. Get some. So we've kind of covered some multiple zones here. This one's close to my heart because this is our Freeheel Life Midwest Service and Demo Center, led by the mighty Keith Opperman, who, if you're familiar with Keith, he's a wonderful person. He's also the guy who puts on Midwest Telefest with a group of people up in way up by Ontonagon, Michigan. And Freeheel Life Midwest, if you're not familiar, we have a service and demo center in Upper Wisconsin. And you can always email customer service at freeheellife.com to get some more information about that. So here's where he's going to be at. He's going to take the Freeheel Life demo March 5th to Indian Head Mountain at Big Snow Resort. It's in Wakefield, Michigan. So here's the lineup. Demos from Freeheel Life from 10 until 3:30 p.m. Then they've got music by Nate Case, 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. And join us. It says, join us at the Red Dog Saloon, Lower Lodge at Indian Head Mountain. And Big Snow Resort is Indian Head and Blackjack combined. They're going to be on the Indian Head side. So please go support Freeheel Life Midwest. Get some demos. Check it out. Keith is a wealth of knowledge and a true OG of Midwest Telemark, and there's all sorts of cool people up in that zone. I love it. There's like the Duluth crew. You know who you are. There's like the Ramsey Free Ride crew. There's like all these people I follow on Instagram. There's like all these people in that zone, and they're all from these different areas. I absolutely love the Midwest. It's just pockets of amazing telemark skiers, and I hope you can make it to Indian Head Mountain in the Midwest and get down for WTD 2022. It's going to be a good time. So bringing it back over to the Rockies, I wanted to talk a little bit about our good friends that run the Hawaiian Nationals. I'm looking at this is a multitude of, actually there's a couple. Okay, I might have to actually look at this a little bit closer because now I feel like I've got a couple different things. I told you this was going to be loose. I was trying to dig all these up. I pulled this one up. Sawtooth Brewery presents Telemark Ski Race and Party Series. So where this is happening on March 5th, World Telemark Day at Rotorun Ski Area, Idaho. This is the flyer. It says, family fun is the name of the game as we ring in World Telemark Day 2022 at Rotorun Ski Area, the little mountain with a big heart just outside Haley, Idaho. Come tailgate and celebrate the turn for our second year in a row at our favorite community ski area. Free day tickets for Freeheels. So check that out. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like some cool things. So if you want to go to Rotorun Ski Area in Idaho and Haley is just outside of Sun Valley. Free day tickets, it says, for Freeheels, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Rotorun, I hope that's true because I'm just reading off a flyer. So hopefully you don't get like overrun with a bunch of hippies, punks, and misfits looking for free lift tickets. But so be it. I'm just reading what the news says. But that's awesome. Rotorun. I have not skied there. I love those little areas. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, is finding these zones where you can pull stuff off like this. Look, I mean, there's areas out there that have like $200 lift tickets right now. All right. Look, I'm a businessman. I'm all about people doing their business. But it's hard to put an event on at an area where there's a $200 lift ticket, right? Because if people can't afford $200, they ain't coming. So good on you, Rotorun ski area, for doing this. I'm sure you're going to have plenty of people up there doing some awesome stuff. And side note outside of this, our friends that run the Hawaiian Nationals, I'm trying to get them on the podcast. If you're listening, we got to make that happen, because April 9th, this is way out, but I want to mention it while I'm talking about Idaho and Sun Valley and that area. Saturday, April 9th, the Hawaiian Nationals at Sun Valley Resort in Idaho. It's one of the oldest telemark races in the nation. Free demos will be available from Freeheel Life 22 Designs. And perhaps making this the region's largest telemark demo day. Anyways, there's some more information. I'm hopefully going to get the crew on board to talk about Hawaiian Nationals before it gets here. We got a little bit of time, but just so you know that is on the radar. I'm just trying to see if anything else needs to be said about that. I do not believe it. Rotorun ski area, Idaho. What's up? I love it. So while we're talking about Idaho, I wanted to bring up, let's see. The World Telemark Day at Bogus Basin is happening. Bogus Basin is outside of Boise, Idaho, and I want to make sure that if you're someone that's in that zone, Bogus Basin, go get some. I don't have a whole lot of details on where the meetup is happening, but I'm sure I don't know if it's even run. Honestly, I don't know if it's run by even anybody at the resort. But I know somebody did post something about it, so maybe scope Bogus Basin. I've always thought that was the best name for a ski resort, and it's not bogus. It's awesome. So another Idaho one coming in, and you can find some information about that, I'm sure, on Facebook or the internet. Type in Bogus Basin if you're in the Boise area, and you can get some WTD action with a group of tele skiers there. Okay, here's another one I found during the weekend. I don't know if it's specific to World Telemark Day, but in Merano, Italy, Freeheel Pass. And you're going to love this Instagram translation. You know, like when it comes up in a different language and it says translate, and here you go. This is the basics. We are happy to invite you to Freeheel Pass, spontaneous and free telemark ski rally with testing, blah, 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 in the company with telemark masters from Merano 2000 Ski School. Anyways, Merano, Italy. I'm not familiar with that area, but I think it's being put on by Makalu, which is a store and adventure hub kind of brand. I'm not too familiar with it. I have seen the name. Italy. That's what's going on. So make sure to get there. Good to see some stuff from there. All right. So this is one of my favorites I came across. Are you in Alaska? So if you are in Alaska, this is, I want to dig into this a little bit more. And I believe this gentleman has come to the shop at some point. I feel like we've talked about this, and then it popped up today, and that's why, like I was saying, I mean, 8 years into this, it's like there's so many interesting people that have kind of popped out of the woodwork. They're like, yeah, we're doing World Telemark Day celebration. Check it out. So this is at the Homer Rope Tow in Alaska. And it just says, in addition to our regular Sunday rope tow hours, we will have this special Saturday opener to celebrate World Telemark Day. All are welcome, and telemark skiers ski for free. Volunteers needed. Whew, man, that just gets me... oh, that makes me feel good to see stuff like that. If you're in Alaska and you're near Homer and you can get to this place, to this rope tow, please go there and just tell them thank you. Thank you for letting us come. You're a telemark skier. Hell, go ski for free. Get an extra telly set up on your friends, and let's get some. And go to the rope tow. Homer Rope Tow. World Telemark Day. Special rope tow opener. Oh, man. Talk about all the cool places you could be on this day. Our friends to the north. So now we're going back up to Canada to a fantastic mountain, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in Golden, British Columbia, celebrating the original turn worldwide. Since 2014, the first Saturday in March has been dedicated to showcasing the Telemark turn worldwide. This year will mark the 8th annual World Telemark Day on March 5th. So, if you are in Kicking Horse, it says, let's meet at the plaza at 10:30 a.m. if you want to join other knee droppers for a lap on Catamount Chair or just enjoy your day around the hill. Kicking Horse, British Columbia. Love it. Good to see stuff happening way up north and such a beautiful area. So thank you, Canada, for whoever's putting that on. Looks like Pauline was the event organizer on Facebook. Pauline, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I hope some other people show up to the plaza at 10:30 for some Catamount chair laps. So coming back a little closer to where we're at in Colorado, Beaver Creek Mountain, not Vail, Beaver Creek. It's close. So if you're in the area, Vail. I haven't seen a Vail meetup yet, so we're going to call out the Beaver Creek one. Come celebrate dropping a knee with other like-minded people at Beaver Creek. There will be prizes from Bishop Bindings and Alpine Quest. Very OG shop. Shout out to Alpine Quest in Edwards and others. Clinic, happy hour, good people. That's all it says. And looks like there's a couple of my old friends, Sean, Mark. There's a bunch of people over there. Old Dave from Bishop. So you're in the Bishop stomping grounds when you're at Beaver Creek. That's a good spot to be. If you're in that area, Vail, Beaver Creek, Eagle, Edwards, Gypsum, there's a lot of places right around that area. Beaver Creek's a great mountain. Perfect day to celebrate World Telemark Day. But if you're not in Colorado and you're where the best snow on earth is, which is Utah, you can come celebrate with the Freeheel Life team at Alta Ski Area. Top of Little Cottonwood Canyon. Snow's amazing right now. Got a little refresh last week. And we are going to be there. The entire Freeheel Life team at the base. We're doing a demo day. We're going to have demos. We're going to have ski volet. We've got them and 22 Designs coming along with us that we've set up. So we got boots. We got skis. 22's bringing some skis. We're bringing some skis. Volet's bringing some skis. So come out and celebrate World Telemark Day at Alta Ski Area, March 5th, 9:15. Lifts open. And we will be there. And we will be pumped. And we're all going to be shredding laps together. And we would love to see you there. And it's going to be a great weekend. Can't wait to get back to Alta. It's going to be awesome. So enough about the greatest snow on earth. Let's hop back over the ocean to Sweden. I have no idea how to pronounce this. But if you're on Instagram, you can look up at Telly_born. Just says Saturday, March 5th, I plan to celebrate World Telemark Day in Mulso. Mullsjo with the two little dots over it. I don't want to call it an umlaut because I think that's German. Maybe it's called. I should have looked that up in Swedish, but I'm not even going to read the rest of this because I translated it from Swedish on Instagram and it just makes me laugh. Anyways, that's going on in Sweden. this next one, this is after World Telemark Day, but I wanted to bring it up. It's in March 11, 12, 13, but it's in Valdifasa, Moena, the Scoofons. If you don't even know what Scoofaneta is, one day we'll have to get these guys on. Scoofaneta, the Scoofons, it's a Telemark club. It's in Moena, in Italy. Amazing people. Anyways, they've got a little ski test and a little gathering happening that week after World Telemark Day, so I thought I'd mention it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Pacific Northwest, but this I found on Instagram at Telly_craw, like a crawdad, CRAW, Telly Craw. He's meeting up at Stevens Pass. Wonderful, wonderful area. Stevens Pass is dope. Honestly, that was the first time I think I grabbed a legit rope tow, like old school rope tow, and thought my hands were going to burn off. I was like, damn, I'm glad I have gloves on because this is kind of crazy. Anyways, Stevens Pass, legit area, awesome stuff. And I just want you to know that is happening up there. And I was just trying to find some more information because there's a little bit more going on with up in that area. But this is one guy, Stevens Pass, just says it's on at Stevens Pass. So along with this Stevens Pass is I wanted to bring up a couple things. So March 5th, so there's a guy up in the Pacific Northwest in Washington called Rise of Telly. That's his like little business he started. And kind of reminds me of Motor. I don't know much about it. Probably need to get him on the podcast. Reminds me sort of Motor City Telly out in the Midwest. Sort of put his own rental fleet together and is just getting after it. Rise of Telly. Here's what's happening that weekend and then the weekend after. And I just wanted to bring it up because this is what I'm talking about. I don't even know this guy, and I love it. I love it. He's picked up the torch. He's like, I need this in my area, and he's getting after it. So March 5th, he's going to be for World Telemark Day in Mission Ridge Ski Resort outside of Wenatchee, Washington. And if you haven't been to Wenatchee, super, super cool area. My band's actually played there. Big shout out to Wally's House of Booze. Awesome venue. And our buddy Ando down there. So I have not actually skied Mission Ridge. This is one of the places I've been in the summer and not in the winter. But World Telemark Day is happening at Mission Ridge Ski Resort that day. And funny enough, another strong telly guy from Utah that used to work up at White Pine in Park City, Mike, he lives in Mission Ridge. So it's cool. There's like a whole crew of people that are starting to, I don't know, we have customers up there too from the shop. So, it's good to see this Rise of Telly guy getting after it, going to Mission Ridge, making it happen, because that's on the eastern side of the Cascades too. It's not like it's like right next to Seattle or something like that. And we've got a good customer there, Jeff B. I won't say his last name. You know who you are. If you're listening, you've been a great supporter all these years. I know you're a Mission Ridge guy. So big shout out to the Mission Ridge Telemark crew, whoever you are. I can't wait for you to celebrate and gather there. That's great. The next day, this guy, Rise of Telly, I think it's different from the Telly Craw guy. I don't know, but he's headed to Stevens Pass and I was so stoked. And this is why I wanted to bring this one up. March 6th, they're doing the Sven and Glenn Telemark Festival. So the Sven and Glenn Classic I want to say it was probably maybe 2011, 2012. I went up there to, my friend Ingrid had told me about this Sven and Glenn Telemark Classic, and they had a race up there. And probably need to dig. I mean, like many things that come up, I mean, this probably deserves getting dug into a little bit further. But Sven and Glenn were Telemark skiers in the early days in Stevens Pass, and they had started this classic race that had been going on for decades, even after these guys had passed away. And it's just one of those awesome local Telemark hero kind of stories that lives on. And I was so glad to see that Sven and Glenn Telemark Festival is going to be happening again. So Rise of Telly, it says, find us in Lot G for NTN demos and Opry. And then this guy's cruising down to Oregon at Hoodoo Ski Area, March 12th for Viking Fest, otherwise known as Viking Fest, used to be Telefest, run by my good friend Jarl Berg, who's been on the podcast. So Viking Fest, if you want I think they're like shooting arrows and throwing axes. It's like Viking, it's all sorts of Norwegian stuff. If you haven't listened to that podcast with Jarl Berg, he is an amazing guy and just so passionate about Telemark skiing. They've kind of morphed it into this Viking Fest, which is a little more broad. It's not just Telemark ski stuff, but it's good to know Rise of Telly is going to link up with them at Hoodoo, which is a fantastic, again, small ski area, very supportive of Telemark events like this. It's great. It's right along where the Pacific Crest Trail crosses through that area in Oregon, and it's not too far from Bend. Most people ski Bachelor, and it's sort of like halfway between Bend and Eugene. So if you're in any of those areas, skip Bachelor for the weekend, skip Willamette Pass, and go to Hoodoo for Viking Fest, March 12th, 2022. And that'll be a great time. So, all right, we're just trekking through these. I'm going to start wrapping this up quick. I know if you actually listen to this whole podcast, this is like an hour's worth of event stuff. And I hope you're scoping it out. And I wish there was a way to, I doubt I'll have time to go through and quick link the notes, but all right, these next one is, I believe this is Sweden again. And they are going to be celebrating World Telemark Day. Are you ready for me to butcher this? Bydalsfjällen. They're going to be doing a World Telemark Day celebration there. And definitely go check that out. That is in Sweden. And hopefully you can figure out what I just said. It's near Bydalen. I think that's the closest I'm going to get. Okay. I've mentioned this one before. West Virginia. Many people don't know they're skiing in West Virginia, except the West Virginians. And West Virginia is just such a cool state in the United States. And it is just full of beautiful, hardy mountain people. And I love it. I'm actually reading a book right now from Foxfire series. It's kind of a compilation of old West Virginians and all the cool things that they knew how to do. Anyways, I digress. It has nothing to do with Telemark skiing, but I get really pumped about West Virginia. Anyways, down in at Timberline Mountain, and I believe that's in the Canaan Valley, kind of down by our buddy Chip Chase down in Whitegrass. But Timberline's got is lift served Saturday, March 5th. You can do a half-day clinic, 9:30 to noon, all levels welcome for $50. And then there's a half-day social ski, 2 p.m. to close, all levels welcome, totally free. Opry ski at the Slippery Slope Bar and Grill at 5 p.m. To register and attend, email lessons@timberlinemountain.com by March 3rd. So by the time you listen to this, make sure you do that. So if you're in West Virginia, or you can get to West Virginia because you're in the southeast of the United States, I would highly recommend it. Beautiful people. That same weekend, Sunday, March 6th, back up to British Columbia, Manning Park Resort, Bear Trap Telemark Festival. That one's been going on for a while. Go check it out. I got a couple more and then we're out. So this one I thought was interesting. I literally found this right before I hopped on to do this and record. This is up in Ontario. This is from a guy named Jeff. Said, if you're curious about local Muskoka or Almaguin backcountry skiing and snowboarding, we are holding an event this next Saturday, March 5th at Limberlost Forest Preserve. It's open to anyone. It's a fun shindig, and we encourage people to dress in vintage ski gear or otherwise. Limberlost is really easy to get to, just 15 minutes from Huntsville. Saturday, March 5th, World Telemark Day, Limberlost Forest Reserve, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join us for another year celebrating World Telemark Day at Limberlost. Not a telemarker, but still want to gather? We are a friendly bunch and would love for you to join us. Drop in anytime throughout the day and connect with friends old and new. The event is open to members, but non-members are welcome too, so bring a friend. You can RSVP at the website www.hsta.org. So check that one out. I thought that was a super fun one. Now, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. And I did want to mention this one. I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's happening, but I did want to mention it because it is in Polyana, Ukraine. If you've been paying attention at all to the news, there's kind of some crazy stuff going on in Ukraine right now, and I'm sending all my best to those people and what's going on. But there was a Telemark Music Fest that was scheduled for March 3 through 6 at it's called Rock Snow in Polyana, Ukraine. I don't know if that's happening. I mean, but I wanted to mention it because it was in my queue, and I feel terrible for what's going on there right now. And just wanted to let those people know that I was thinking about them, and that I did know that was scheduled at some point. The last thing I wanted to mention before we sign out is just 49 degrees north, another Pacific Northwest, closer to Spokane, kind of that Sandpoint, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane area. They got Telemark clinics going on March 20th, after World Telemark Day. There's a lot going on. I am so proud to be a Telemark skier in 2022. It's not dead. It is not even close to dead. And for some of you, that might have been the most boring podcast because I literally just listed off a bunch of events. For me, honestly, if no one listens to this podcast, I'm excited because as I read through all these, I'm so proud that all this is going on. Thank you for taking World Telemark Day to heart. Thank you for putting your stuff together. Thank you for gathering people in your area just because. And thank you for protecting the turn and passing it on to those around you. That's what this is all about. It's always been about this. It's always been about sharing that turn with the next generation, with our friends, family, whatever it is. So that's why I started my business, Freeheel Life. We want to be the best shop in the world. We want to be the most knowledgeable. We want to be the people you can call and ask questions to. And that's why we started that business. And you can check us out at freeheellife.com. Telemark Skier Magazine's there. We're going to be doing some coverage of World Telemark Day and have some photos and whatnot. Craig Dosty's at the helm of that. We've still got stuff that we're putting out, and it's part of our Freeheel Life family. You can check all that out at telemarkskier.com. Like I said, if you didn't hear something about your gathering on here, I mean, I just spent an hour going through a bunch of them, and like I said, it's important to me. So if literally nobody listens to this podcast because they're like, dude, you're like a human calendar just talking, I'm excited and I want to push it out there, and I'll do my best to make sure people know that you're getting together to celebrate this day. That's how important it is to me. So please email me at podcast@freeheellife.com, who, what, when, where. And if you got a little flyer, even better, and I'll push it out. Much love, everybody. World Telemark Day celebration, March 5th. Let's get it done. 8th annual. We're heading towards the first decade of this holiday. And I just, I want to send my love to all the people all over the place. Thank you for loving Telemark and loving the Telemark turn as much as I do. And until next week, spread Telemark always.